This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
And it's been mostly quiet tonight as we take in the view from our downtown Weather Now cameras. Some of you out there may have already seen some light rain, and chances are you're going to see more tomorrow. The question tonight, will your Sunday plans be a washout? Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Trevor Shirley. Meteorologist Kyle Mounts is joining us. He's got a first look at your forecast, and that is what everybody's asking tonight. What do the plans look like for tomorrow, and how much rain are we actually going to get?
Yeah, because Saturday turned out really to be a pretty nice day. We had just some very light rain here and there, but for most of us, the wet weather held off, and that's still the case as we check out Storm Team 6 radar for you this evening. We've got the satellite as well. So, yeah, we've still got some cloud cover, and that rain is getting closer. You notice as we get around the Ohio River here, we're starting to see that overspread the Louisville area, and it's working its way back to the north and northwest. So as we go after midnight, especially southeast portions of the state, that's where we'll see those rain chances increasing first, and then tomorrow morning we will see a little more coverage as we start off the second half of our weekend. Right now, though, it is dry, 72 in Indy, 73 in Bloomington, and still a little bit breezy. That east wind around 15 miles per hour for us. Overnight stays breezy, and those rain chances rising. 66 for the overnight temperature.
I just want to say what an incredible honor it was today to be selected as a Grand Marshal.
The Indy Pride Parade and Festival featured some of the luminaries of our local LGBTQ community. It's a celebration promoting all types of inclusion. The festival is now wrapping up, and from what we can tell at this point, it's certainly been a success. We saw large crowds lining the parade route and gathering over at Military Park. Tonight, Derek Thomas talked to one of the parade's grand marshals about how far we've come and how far we still need to go.
The parade goers were some 50,000 strong. There are 150 floats and grand marshals who've been in the news. Shelley Fitzgerald, a Roncalli High School guidance counselor who was placed on administrative leave because she was married to a woman, served as a grand marshal. And this man, J.D. Ford, who has a budding political career, was a marshal too. J.D. Ford is the only openly gay state legislator. He is proud of his achievement, but says much more progress is needed.
It is an incredibly exciting time to be an elected official, our first out-serving member of our General Assembly during this time. And so I can see, and I want to pay homage to the folks that got us to this point. But I also want to say that there's so much more work that needs to be done for our community.
Those feelings don't have to be spoken along the parade route, but there are assignments that members of the community can pursue.
I think the key to progress is for those of you that don't know people who are in our community to make an effort to reach out and to make friends and to build genuine relationships with people. Because when you build a genuine relationship with someone, you see them as the person that they are, the beautiful, wonderful member of society, your neighbor, your friend, your family member.
Ford says he will do his part, and he will be back next year to display his pride. He hopes he will be joined by others who will come to understand why this day is important. Derek Thomas, RTV6.
And new at 11 tonight, police are warning drivers to be on the lookout for a man possibly impersonating a police officer. The Rush County Sheriff's Office says a woman told them she was pulled over and ordered out of her car by a man driving a dark vehicle with red lights. They say the woman told them the man was not in uniform and showed her some kind of badge that the woman said looked like it was fake. She didn't get out of her car and instead drove away and called police. Authorities are reminding everyone that in order for any officer to conduct a traffic stop, that officer has to be in proper and complete uniform or be in a marked police vehicle. If you've got any information on this possible impersonator, you're asked to call the Rush County Sheriff's Office. And 2 people are dead tonight following an Indianapolis house fire early this morning. Crews were called out to a home in the 3100 block of Adams Street just after 2 a.m. Officials say firefighters were able to put out the blaze pretty quickly, but then discovered 2 people inside. A 55-year-old man and a 48-year-old woman were both given CPR at the scene, but later died at Eskenazi Hospital. An IFD spokesperson said the home did have working smoke detectors, and it looks like the victims were awakened but just weren't able to get out of the house. 3 dogs were also rescued and are expected to be all right. That fire, though, is still under investigation. And the families of murdered Delphi teenagers Libby German and Abigail Williams are continuing to keep their story in the public eye. Today they spoke at CrimeCon in 2019 in New Orleans. The girls' families were on a panel called Delphi Murders: 2 Years Too Long for Justice. They were also joined by a member of the Indiana State Police. CrimeCon is an annual event that's all about true crime stories and their investigations. And a 75-year-old Kokomo man is dead after authorities say he drove into the path of an oncoming semi, causing a 3-vehicle crash in a construction zone. The crash happening near the intersection of US 31 and County Road 600 North on Friday afternoon. The Howard County Sheriff's Office says William Dickinson is the man who died. We're told the semi, which hit Dickinson's Chevy Silverado, then hit another semi. Thankfully, neither of those drivers were hurt. Dickinson was airlifted to the hospital where he later died. That crash is still under investigation. And also tonight, let's go ahead and get you up to speed on a major road project that's going to start next week. The Indiana Department of Transportation will completely shut down the northbound and southbound lanes of I-65 during separate periods for a repaving project. Now, the first closure is on 65 northbound between its interchanges with I-465 and I-865. It starts at 9 p.m. on June 14th and then ends on July 1st. The second closure affects the southbound lanes in that same area. That one, though, lasts from July 12th through the 29th. Now, INDOT recommends drivers follow a detour using I-465 and I-865 during those closures. And the Indianapolis Public Schools free summer meal program starts on Monday. Free breakfast and lunch will be served at sites all around the district. All of that happening through July 26th. Now, these meals are available to any child under the age of 18, not just IPS students. Adults can also purchase a meal for less than $4. For a complete list of locations and times, you can head over to our website or the RTV6 app and click on this story. Also tonight, U.S. and Mexican officials have reached a deal to avoid tariffs on Mexican imports proposed by President Trump. Now, Republicans were initially not in favor of those tariffs, and after the deal was announced, many Republicans congratulated the president on making that deal. But the response from Democrats, that's been a bit different. Here's ABC's Tara Palmieri with the details.
President Trump on Twitter this morning thanking the Mexican president and foreign minister for, quote, working so long and hard to get our agreement on immigration completed. The president announcing the deal Friday night, tweeting that the proposed tariffs on Mexican goods set to take effect this Monday are, quote, hereby indefinitely suspended. Mexican and U.S. officials coming to the agreement following several days of negotiations.
Mexico will take unprecedented steps to increase enforcement to curb irregular migration.
Mexico agreeing to send 6,000 troops to its southern border with Guatemala and vowing to crack down on human trafficking and smuggling networks.
Those crossing the U.S. southern border to seek asylum will be rapidly returned to Mexico, where they may await the adjudication of their asylum claims.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi criticizing the deal in a statement released today, saying, quote, threats and temper tantrums are no way to negotiate foreign policy, adding the administration is, quote, failing to address the root causes of Central American migration. The president had planned to increase tariffs on Mexican goods by 5% every month, potentially reaching as high as 25%. Republicans taking to Twitter to congratulate the president. Louisiana Congressman Steve Scalise tweeting, President Trump's newly signed agreement with Mexico is great news for both our economy and our country's border security. But Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer with a seemingly sarcastic response, referring to the president's accomplishment as a historic night, adding, quote, now that the problem is solved, I'm sure we won't be hearing any more about it in the future. Tara Palmieri, ABC News, Washington.
Well, coming up, a country music star's child dies after drowning in the family's swimming pool. Now a warning for parents to keep your kids safe in the water this summer. Plus, incredible video of ordinary people saving a man's life after his car burst into flames.
And no signs of a heat wave anytime soon. In fact, temperatures are going to get a little bit cooler in the week ahead. I'll let you know when those numbers may not get out of the 60s. You're watching RTV6 News at 11.
At Ross, yes for less.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
A country singer's young son tragically drowned this week at his home. Now Granger Smith is hoping the accident helps other families avoid what happened to his. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission says June is the most common time of the year for child drownings. They've actually gone up over the last few years. Drowning is the #1 cause of unintentional deaths for children ages 1 to 4. Near drownings also send about 6,600 kids to the ER every year. Most of those accidents happen at home in the pool, but spas are also a danger. And swim safety experts say families should have fences that lock all the way around the pools and spas. Also, they say have a designated person who isn't reading or on their phone to watch the kids in the water at all times. Experts also encourage everyone to become CPR certified and, most importantly, teach their kids how to swim.
We can start that as young as 6 months. And what we do is we teach children that if they fall into the pool, the first thing we want them to do is try to turn around and grab the wall that they fell off of. If that doesn't work, then we do teach them to roll over onto their back and float until help arrives. And that, as they progress through the levels, we do eventually teach them to roll over onto their back, float on their back, and kick until their head hits the wall. That way they've found safety and they don't even have to wait for someone to help them. They can grab the wall and climb out.
And Maggie Muller, who you just saw there, says swimming lessons can reduce the chances of a young child drowning by as much as 88%. A celebration in Arkansas tonight after a man was rescued nearly a week after going missing while hiking on the Buckeye Trail. Here's ABC's Zachary Quiche with details of the dramatic rescue.
Joshua McClatchy, dehydrated but in good spirits, now recovering. Rescued nearly a week after disappearing while hiking in the Arkansas wilderness, 105 miles southwest of Little Rock.
I never thought I'd see anybody.
This video showing the moments after he was found.
Did you advise you have him? I do have him.
Rescuers using cell phone data to narrow down his location. Eventually, a National Guard helicopter equipped with infrared technology was able to locate him.
By the time he saw us, I mean, he thought his rescuers were angels.
It took about 4 hours for the rescuers to carry him out on a one-wheeled rescue cart. The 38-year-old was visiting from Fort Worth, Texas to celebrate his birthday and set out by himself on the Buckeye Trail, sending his mother photo and text updates. The first coming at 11:27 Saturday morning. And then this photo, his view from the trail at 12:09 p.m. Several hours later, she got a jarring update.
Noticed that at 4:51, he had texted letting me know that he needed help.
That text reading, "Hey Mom, I need your help. Remain calm and we'll get through this." He goes on to say, "I'm dehydrated and getting low on water. I have bad reception and can't make calls." But he was able to give her a rough idea of where he was. Then the messages stopped.
Me and my friends set out Tuesday and tried to go find him ourselves.
Friends say McClatchy got turned around and disoriented on the trail. Now they're celebrating his rescue.
It was just incredible seeing him come out of the woods with a team and friends who were waiting for him when he got out there. So there couldn't be much of a better ending than the way it happened.
Zachary Quiche, ABC News, New York.
All right, and take a look at this. A frantic rescue captured on video up in Palatine, Illinois. It happened after a driver plowed his car into a vacant store. The driver was still behind the wheel as flames consumed the vehicle. As you can see, several people rushing to help, some of them even grabbing fire extinguishers. But the driver did not respond as those Good Samaritans tried to keep the flames at bay. One of those people, Wayne Graham, says they emptied 4 separate fire extinguishers before finally dousing the flames.
Every one of us, I'm sure, felt like the car was going to blow up at any moment. The tire blew. And you never saw 5 people jump so much in your life, you know, because we're all like in there.
Now, officers arrived and finally managed to get that driver out. The tow strap officers used to pull out the car was provided by a nearby citizen. Medics believe the driver was in shock after that crash. He was taken to the hospital with burn injuries. At this point, though, his condition is not known. Now to some weather extremes. Dry conditions in the west and some very wet conditions in the southeast are causing 2 very different problems. Tonight, here's Elizabeth Herr with the details.
Torrential rains pounding parts of the southeast. In Wake County, North Carolina, floodwaters racing over several roads, leaving some impassable.
Turn around, go back. The road is flooded.
And completely washing out this road. Near Raleigh, a sinkhole opening on a highway after heavy rains slammed this area.
The roads are flooded. My neighbors, their backyard's completely flooded and underwater.
Waters rising so quickly, first responders rushed to push stranded drivers to safety. Similar conditions in Virginia meant barricades along roads, warning drivers of dangers ahead.
I don't want to be stuck and have my car just kind of floating off there.
In Arkansas, the record-breaking rainfall triggering historic flooding of several rivers. President Trump approving a major disaster declaration here. And rescuers in Tennessee pulled several people from the swollen waters after flash flooding filled 2 churches with several feet of water. Meanwhile, in the West, heat and dry weather are wreaking havoc. Firefighters in Arizona are struggling to contain a fast-moving wildfire. The mountain fire has already scorched more than 7,200 acres in the Tonto National Forest. Crews battling this blaze from the air using water and fire retardant, hoping to slow it down. In Northern California, a smaller wildfire forced dozens of residents to evacuate, and power preemptively shut off to thousands of customers in the danger zone to try to reduce the risk of fire. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
Those folks out there just can't catch a break. I mean, it's incredible to see such different kinds of weather that we're dealing with all across the country.
Yeah, and things here at home are a lot more calm.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we've kind of turned off the water for a little while, but it's going to come back here for the second half of the weekend. We've got some scattered showers to talk about. As we take you out there right now, though, nice and quiet in downtown Indianapolis, at least as far as the weather is concerned. We got 72 degrees. That east breeze continues, but it felt pretty good today. That's also continuing to bring in some drier air, and that's held off that rain for us today. But those winds will turn a little more southeasterly overnight tonight. Storm Team 6 radar, again, things are pretty quiet, but once you get a little closer to Louisville, that's where the rain is now. And by tomorrow morning, we'll start to see that rain overspreading central Indiana. So we'll see a rise in those rain chances in the morning, a little bit of a dip into the middle of the day before they come right back up Sunday evening. So here's a check of TrueCast for you. This is 4:30 early tomorrow morning, and we've got some light scattered showers around the area. As we go through the morning and into the early afternoon, notice that we're going to see some hit and miss showers. So still tomorrow, even though we've got those rain chances a lot higher than today, we're still going to have some dry time in the forecast here. And as we go into the evening, we'll have some isolated showers and storms as well. Sunday planning forecast comes in with temperatures that will be not moving a whole lot here the first half of the day. We're still around 70 degrees at 10 a.m. Lower 70s for you into the early afternoon, and we'll top out in the mid to upper 70s. Average high, that's in the lower 80s, so not quite going to get there in most spots tomorrow. Right about 80 degrees for you in Columbus. We'll settle for 76 in Noblesville, and Danville coming in at 77 degrees in Hendricks County. On Monday, we hold on to that chance for some rain showers the first part of the day, especially over the eastern half of central Indiana. Then we'll dry it out here a little bit as we head through the afternoon. It's breezy, though, and those winds out of the northwest mean our temperatures are going to stay into the middle 70s for that afternoon high. 7-day planning forecast now. We put it all together here for you, and after that chance for some showers early in the day on Monday, dry for a couple of days here. And look at those afternoon highs staying in the middle 70s here right through Wednesday. Isolated chance for some showers late in the day, really Wednesday night, and then Thursday, as we're going to have a low pressure system sit overhead, that will keep our highs only in the 60s for a day, and some areas might be into the 40s by Friday morning. Not very June-like, and then as we get into next weekend, we rebound. Highs are back around 80.
40s in June in Indiana? That's, I mean, I
unheard
guess
of.
Your issue. It's Indiana. You never know what you're going to get.
Little blip on the radar.
All right, Kyle, thanks. Well, coming up on the news at 11, we've got a warning for you about a potentially dangerous item that you're using to clean your grill. That story's coming up ahead. Stay with us.
Working for you.
All right, well, if you're grilling this weekend, you're going to want to hear about this warning. The American Medical Association and several other health organizations, they want to ban grill brushes that have metal wire. That's because a lot of people have ended up in the ER after getting wire stuck in their throats, stomachs, and even intestines sometimes. For example, a woman just had surgery to remove a metal bristle from the back of her throat. It came off of the brush and onto the grill and then got stuck in a hot dog that she was eating. Doctors recommend that you use other products to clean your grill. Grill stones or scrapers, they say, are a good idea. You can also use liquid grill cleaners. That's a cheap way, and another cheap way to do it is just to crumple up some aluminum foil and then use that to scrape off the grill grate that you're going to use. Well, are you still planning that epic summer vacation? Costco and Sam's Club say they have some hot deals for their members. Take a look. Costco Travel offers vacation packages for family and group travel. They've got cruises, flights, hotels, or even entire travel packages. They also sell discounted theme park tickets. Now, Sam's focuses more on entertainment, but you can still find great discounts just for members on everything from Las Vegas shows to theme parks in Florida. We got NerdWallet's travel expert to weigh in on some last-minute planning tips.
When it comes to any kind of travel booking, it can pay to shop around even just a little bit and just compare different prices on different sites. Is it better to book a travel package, or is it better to book each accommodation a la carte? And you know, families can really stand to recoup some of the costs of their summer travel if they use Travel Rewards credit cards.
Now, if you're loyal to a certain hotel brand or airline, you might want to use a credit card specific to them because of the perks they'll come with, like free bag checking or early check-in. And in Hiring Hoosiers tonight, we want to connect you with employment opportunities, training programs, and education. We've told you about how Employ Indy's Work One office is having an open house. That event's happening Saturday, June 15th from 11 to 1. At that event, there's going to be a job fair and other career resources. The event will take place at 4410 North Shadeland Avenue. Now, that's a new location for Work One Indy. Again, that's from 11 to 1 on the 15th of June, happening at that new location, 4410 North Shadeland. And starting next year, you can put up to $100 extra into your health savings account. Now, if you're not exactly sure what you can buy with those HSA dollars, check Amazon. It has a page that only shows stuff you can buy with an FSA or HSA. They're mostly medical supplies like reading glasses, contact solution, lip balm, and even sunscreen. You can add your FSA or HSA card as a payment option on Amazon. You can also get a refund for stuff you bought on your personal accounts. And some local Boy Scouts are getting a very cool camping experience. We'll tell you whose lawn they're sleeping on tonight right here in Indianapolis. That story's coming up ahead.
Only get yours at Zaxby's.
Well, tonight, these Boy Scouts are sleeping under the stars at the governor's residence after a full day of activities. The event started this morning where about 100 local Boy Scouts hiked from the fairgrounds to the governor's residence on Meridian Street, escorted by the Indiana National Guard. Scouts got to meet Governor Holcomb and then had time to hone their skills at different activity stations. Tomorrow morning, they'll wake up, cook breakfast, and then lend a hand to a community project that benefits Riley Children's Hospital.
Pretty cool because it's like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You don't get to do it like every day. So it's not something that you could just shrug off and say, oh, I did that. It's a huge deal.
Organizers say the event helps build values in young people and connects them to their community. I'm sure they're hoping that the rain holds out for tonight.
Yeah, and you know, I think we will have to deal with a little bit eventually as we go into our Sunday here. It looks like a lot of rain in that forecast, but again, we're going to have some dry time in there too. Temperatures will make their way into the middle and upper 70s, and that'll kind of be the theme for the week ahead. Even though we dry things out, temperatures staying a little cool for this time of year. That high only in the 60s on Thursday.
You know what? Maybe a nice cool down is what we need.
Feel pretty good.
Take it. All right, Kyle, thanks. And thank you for watching tonight. We appreciate it. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.